Hello! As you could read by the title, this is gonna be a video where you will see all the Yes news we've gotten this year. Special thanks to Josh for cutting this video. Rob shared 4 videos with us. He said, just sharing things people won't understand, for fun. And here you have your 4 clips. In the first video, we can see co-op platforming, and in the second one, we see some kind of unlocking item. Here, take a look. And then some other user asked if we are going to be able to select different colors for each game mode. And Rob replied with, maybe in the future. So Rob shared these 2 pictures, which shows us the new currency for the platform mode. So instead of stars, we are collecting moons. Let the moon grind begin. What do you think about this? Rob is currently balancing new chests, because you guys have probably a lot of keys stored. Rob thought about adding in 5 chests, which will take you 100 keys to open, but that seems too much, as he said. So far in 2.2, we will see 10, 25 and 50 key chests. And then he came up with an idea. Pay X amount of keys to get access into a shop. You may ask yourself, how many shops are there in 2.2? A lot. Then some other user asked him what he thinks about the GD Battle Royale, and he said, if I ever add live multiplayer, sure, that would be fun. And then he gave us some example how it will look like. So 100 players, all get 100 attempts, random level from a list until only 1 person is left, and it's not allowed to pause the game. Well, this sounds fun. I hope this will be added in the future. A user asked if Rob has any plans on releasing 2.2 in 2022. And he said yes. Then he showed us the new treasure room and said, won't show you chest 4, 5 and 6. And as we know from the last news, there will be 25 key chests and 50 key chests. So what will be the 6th chest? Also, we might see one of the following methods to unlock chests. First is that unlocking all chests of type 1, 2 and 3 before allowed to open chests 4, 5 and 6. Or unlock any chests in any order. In the next picture, we see that Rob has added the versus button, the map, events, the save, and lists. What do you think will save and lists do? Then another user asked if Rob will improve the quest system, and he said, not in 2.2, but we'll try to improve it in 2.3. Oh, and the Hall of Fame is dead. Didn't feel very useful, as he said. Okay, in 2.2, diamonds won't be useless anymore. We can unlock more areas and we can spend them to buy more stuff. Oh, and there's one last small video Rob showed us today. Bouncy monsters. So let's go. First of all, GD will not come out today, as 𝗏𝘃 confirmed, and that was kind of obvious. I would agree this person who said, I honestly don't care about when 2.2 comes out. I just want the update not to be buggy as frick and to be polished. And yes, I do agree with this person. I and many more people want 2.2 desperately, but let Rob finish the game. I will keep you up to date on this channel. Anyway, let's go into the real news. So, you guys remember about the MDK's secret song? Here it is.
Hey Squip, do you want to hear the secret song? It looks like you do. Is that it? Okay, let's play it, okay? You're very cute.
Geometry Dash.
And it looks like we are getting another sneak peek. Then a user said, I do hope some custom particles won't just lag some levels, but I'm sure you got that handled. And Rob replied with, there's an option to disable custom particles, but hopefully good creators will try to optimize stuff. And then he added that he could add hard limits to particle systems, but he is not adding it to let the system free for creators so they are not limited. Next up, we have a picture Rob posted today, and I'm not sure if we have seen this one before, but you will tell me. Then another user asked if Rob will update the server so they won't crash on the 2.2 release date. And he replied with, I bought a new, much better server, but haven't moved there yet. Been paying for it like 3 months now. Oof. Then another user asked, I noticed a minor detail in platformer mode preview. Is that cube into pieces actually gonna be a thing? And Rob replied with, it's an extra depth effect you can unlock. Interesting, extra depth effect? Rob is also planning on having multiple effects that you can unlock with some other ideas. And for the last news, the platformer editor will be the same editor as in the classic GD. Here's a picture of sexy Rob working out. So Rob said, I know many of you were expecting 2.2 release 22nd. Sorry, it's not ready yet, but I'm doing my best, believe it or not. Then he said that there will be 23 new backgrounds in 2.2 and that there is a trigger to change the background scroll speed. Pretty amazing. Then a user asked if we can get leaderboards for other stats like demons and user coins, and Rob replied with, probably after 2.2. GD emotes when? Rob wild guess 2.3. Then another user asked, hey Rob, some of the 2.1 levels will be given the legendary after the update, and Rob said, not by me directly. Maybe if we do some competition where the community or mods can vote on which levels deserve it. Then 𝗏 asked, what are your expectations on 2.2 right now? And Rob replied with, if all goes well, 2.2 will be the start of big things for GD. If not, we all just move to Fortnite. First of all, a user asked, will 2.2 have the respawn lag bug fixed? And Rob replied with, if you mean the lag when starting from a start position, then yes. Second of all, RobTop has not planned 𝗏𝗏𝘃𝗏𝗃, so we will not see it in 2.2. This question already got answered a few times, but I will still put it in here. A user asked, when will you fix the iOS 15 thingy? And Rob replied with, it will be fixed in 2.2. Then another user asked, are you keeping the grainy glow texture? And Rob said, I'm probably gonna change UHD textures to be better format, so the graininess is removed. And last but not least, the last user asked, is the tower a place for platformer official levels? And Rob said, indeed. So Rob shared this one video with us. This is the water shader effect. And yes. So after 2 months of silence, he finally woke up. First, Rob said that he just finished some crazy systems and that creators gonna build sick stuff with it. 2.1 has already crazy stuff in it. So how insane will 2.2 get? Anyway, then he showed us 3 videos. Here, just take a look by yourself. Well, I guess this video is shitty now. And now we are thieves. Man, I love 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃. In 2.2 we will have area triggers, and then once again Rob said that he's doing his best on the 2.2 update and that he can't pinpoint a specific date for the release date. So let's just wait a little longer. 2.2 is closer than ever. And last but not least, we will not see animated timeline on the editor, and once again for the people who missed it, the lag spikes while using a start position bug will be fixed in 2.2. So as you can see here, these are advanced follow triggers, and how weird those rockets behave. First he said, we can see nothing cool, but only bugs. Hey, I take that. So Rob is currently fixing bugs. First focusing on those which will mess things up. Less important ones we can fix later. And then he discovered a bug where it's throwing the character at lightning speed in random directions when standing on scaling objects. Here, take a look at this. Whee, bouncy. And there's another bug coming up right now. What a nice back massage. A user then said, keep it in the game, it will make for some trampolines. And Rob replied with, you can build stuff like that without the bug. And another user asked, area trigger is what makes blocks enter and fade? Rob said to this, similar. Enter triggers are the ones I showed before. Area triggers are the same things but more powerful. And a few minutes later he figured out what caused the bug, and apparently it's not a bug, so it will be in 2.2. Good times. Blank grounds are added in 2.2. Oh, and here's another fresh pic from 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃. He got some beautiful eyes, not gonna lie. Object limit got removed in 2.2 as we know, and Rob added to it that creators should try to stay below 80,000 if they can. Game isn't really coded to handle several 100,000 objects. Then another user asked, will you ever be adding a number text box thing to editor layers and Z layers? And yes, it's added, as well as a button for next free editor layer. And for everyone who is interested in 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗀𝗃 PC specs, here they are. Then creator goal typed, I would like to know if there's any shader that you added after you streamed on Twitch. Rob said, improved them a lot, not sure if I added any completely new one. Creator goal texted back, also speaking of shaders, is there a way to make them apply on anything but portals? Rob replied with, you can apply shaders below or above a layer. Can't have, for example, B2, B1, F2, F3. You would have to have a player and F1 as well in the whole gate range. You could maybe put all portals on their own layer, like F4, and then apply shader to everything below F4. I have no idea what this all means, but it sounds awesome for creators. In 2.2, everyone can limit out the FPS. And then a user said, will you fix the bug with jump pads that isn't deadlocked? And yes, it's fixed in 2.2. And then this guy managed somehow to kill 60,000 icons in the title screen. How? Rob said, I accidentally made a pirate ship earlier using the new advanced follow trigger. And here's a small video. Rob named this video file, I'm a pirate, by the way. And again, I'm repeating myself, but Rob said that he's gonna break the future updates into smaller pieces. RobTop is trying to fix GD Lite for Android. It's the same code base, so updating Lite on iOS Android means full version works. Then another user asked on that, so does that mean 2.2 is close? And Rob replied with, I have some stuff left, but getting everything running with all new requirements for Android iOS is good. Then another user asked if Rob is planning on adding any more game modes to the game, and he said, yeah. Then someone else asked if he will fix the iOS thing on GD World like he did on GD Lite, and Rob replied with, World is a bit more work, but yeah. Then another user said that Rob should make it so you can have multiple icon sets that you can switch between. And Rob said to that he will do it, but only in 2.3. Then another user asked, will the robot jump pad bug fix break old levels? Rob first asked, which one? It's the bug where you can go stupidly high, where you hold on a jump pad with a robot. Rob replied, ah yeah, it's removed, but not that many levels abuse it. Then another user asked if Rob ever considered collabing with companies like Goodsmile on GD merch, and he said to this, I will do merch at some point, but nothing planned. I have 1,000 GD t-shirts though that I purchased to sell, just never had time. Then he said, something that would be fun, collectible mini icons in random packets so you don't know what you can get. Small chance to get special icon you can unlock in-game. And then he also said this, should get Android out in a few days, then back to work on Sneak Peek 2. Okay. Now here you can see data miners revealed the star values and difficulty ratings of the 2 new levels we will get in the 2.2 update. The level Dash is going to be a 12-star Insane, and Explorers will be a 16-star Demon. Now, yesterday I showed you 5 pages of new icons. Here you have a way prettier look at them again. So if you want to see them all, just pause in between. I will just go through it really quick. Those are the ships. Pause if you want to see them all. Balls. They look way prettier in these pictures, I must say. And those icons are really cool. Now we have the swing. Okay, now let's talk about nothing that important, but I still want to mention it here once. So Wiley tweeted, so the map. I've just about finished looking into it, and oh boy, there's a lot to cover. This thread will cover all of the important things. Firstly, the map is not actually there. Instead, there's a system used to create levels for the map. These are stored separately inside of a dictionary called GameMap. The fact that the levels are stored separately and the map opens the editor with a new level implies that Rob is planning a lot of levels for 2.2. Most likely, Rob is trying something similar to GD World with short levels. Using this as a base, I estimate at least more than 10 levels just in the map alone. There may be more, they may be less. We cannot know for sure. Now, how does one access the map? When you click on the map icon, the game checks if the player has spoken with the keymaster. If not, then the dialog prompt is started. This sets a flag. Upon pressing the map icon again, the game checks another flag. If the flag is not set, then level area layer is loaded. This is the tower which the keymaster mentioned previously. Once you reach the tower, there's a button which you can click. Clicking this button plays a door sound effect and loads level area inner layer. Unfortunately, there's not anything inside the inner tower. However, it is believed that the platformer mode level in the sneak peek is a level you have to beat inside the tower. Once finished, a flag will be set. Clicking on the map icon one last time will load the actual map this time, as the map is currently replaced with Rob's system now. I cannot explain any further. Oh, and one more thing, Rob said that hiding stuff in Android is better, and 𝗟𝗲𝗃 said to this, challenge accepted. Do you remember this video where you can play around with 2.2 icons? You can play around by yourself now. I will link you the website down in the description. Check it out and have fun. And here is a small video of the spider orbs and spider pads. We know that already though. Nothing new. Oh, and apparently Dash is the song name of the new official level by MDK. Also, GD-Lite got 1 million downloads in the past month. I wonder why. And according to Apptopia, RobTop Games has seen over 12.5 million downloads across all platforms and apps in the last 30 days. This is insane. And now I present to you Particles. This looks just insane and amazing at the same time. Rest in peace for every YouTube video and every Twitch stream, because the bitrate is gonna drop so hard. But yeah, I will not bother you. Enjoy this show. Probably have seen it already, but Lite was updated to Android as well now. And 33 minutes after GD-Lite 2.211 went live on Android, 𝗟𝗏 has released a full unlock. A link is as always in the description. These icons got discovered so far, but who knows, maybe there will be more stuff leaked from the data miners tomorrow. Let's see. Then a user asked, RobTop, have you even played the game yet? Spikes and portals are all messed up in 2.2. And Rob asked back, in what way? User typed back, I've heard dual portals offset the floor and ceiling wrong, and spikes don't have their hitbox rotated properly. Rob replied with, dual portal thing will be fixed. There are no dual in Lite. That's why it's still there. And I will double check the spike rotation thing. Today is June 10th, Today is July 10th, 2022. This is 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗀, host of the updates, bringing you your daily GD 2.2 update. Okay, so first of all, big thanks to Master the Cube for making this awesome intro. It looks so cool. Thank you so much again. And everything I will show you in this video is from the man himself, 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗀. If you want to look up anything by yourself, as always, links are in the description. Okay, let's start. There's 3 screenshots of the new advanced follow trigger, and as always, pause if you want to take a closer look at them. This is the first picture, this is the second picture, and this is the last picture. This is the rotate gameplay trigger, and the help box is saying keep velocity, how velocity is retained when switching gameplay rotation. Change channel, change to order channel. Change only, do not charge gameplay rotation. Trigger direction determines how the channel is sorted, and objects are always ordered primarily based on their order number within the channel. Then we have the MG trigger, and Wally said to this, move ground maybe? Then we have the setup camera guide, and the help box is saying rotate a ground of objects. Set center group ID to rotate around an object, and only one object can be in the center group. Then we have the end trigger with a help box of saying end trigger? What? Then we have the setup teleport trigger, and the help box is saying target group ID, teleport to this object. Smooth ease, camera moves slower. Static, exit based on target rotation with a force. Redirect, exit based on target rotation and input force. Min max, limit exit force 0 equals no limit. Mod, input force modifier. Outspeed equals mod times in speed. Save offset, outpose adds offset from in portal center. What? This is the enter effect pop-up. And this is the gravity trigger with a useful text box of changes the gravity for the player. Dang. Here's options 2, triggers, how Wily described it. And for the last trigger we have area tint trigger. What is this? Oh, and this just came in. Wily posted this picture, and RobTop said, after 2.2 I will probably make a new 2.3 free app thing like Sub-Zero. For last, a user asked, do you plan on hiring anyone to help you make updates for the game? Rob replied with, yeah, hopefully after 2.2. Picture of the editor. Then we got another picture of something else. I'm sorry, I have no idea how the editor works. Then we got the object options pop-up, create blocks pop-up, and setup options trigger pop-up. And now, do you remember the massive amounts of triggers Wily found yesterday? Here are some of them in video form. This one is my favorite so far. Wee. Remember the area tint trigger? Here it is. Area scale trigger and area move trigger. And on the next 2 clips he will talk by himself.
The opposite, so that when you approach something, the opacity goes down instead of up.
You can do that easily in the...
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. Sorry, you use.
Yeah. Gonna do this.
RobTop's doing some advanced shit here.
Yep.
It's supposed to be broken, by the way.
Keto said to this, arrow trigger, kinda. And then he found this.
Amazing.
Got those.
About to get some. Bro?
Bro.
What?
Wait, can you place objects? No, wait.
What? What?
What?
What?
There's nothing else except that.
Oh, wait, yeah, that makes sense.
Cool.
Man, they die. So sad. They explode.
Damn, boinky. The yoinky splinky. There they go.
You can move it?
Nope.
I mean, well, yeah.
I can't move it.
Damn.
Oh. Okay.
Amazing.
They're back. Yeah. Well, that's the leaked map, I guess.
My bad.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, nothing interesting there.
And at last, funny spider spinning. Okay, now let's jump to 𝗲𝗏. He found something and said, so there seems to be a new stat called XP, which is generated using orbs and diamonds. There doesn't seem to be any other references to XP in this function, so I'm not completely sure what it's for. Any ideas for it? And then he added to this, doing the math, there seems to be 105 levels. 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝘀, we getting ranked? Then he found this. Costs for treasure room chests. 100 demon keys is the most a chest will cost by the looks of it. So Kato found the gradient trigger. It took him a bit to figure this one out. Also, yes, if you put low opacity colors, the background shows. Group ID filter, set up teleport. Edge trigger is a thing too. The transition that makes objects go everywhere is now in the triggers tab. And at last, Kato said, by the way, yesterday I uploaded a level with the area move trigger on the GD server. ID is on the screen if you want to play it, but it only works on GD Lite unlocked. Now, jumping to 𝗲𝗏, pixel batch node reserved for pixel blocks. Looks like there will be a B5Z layer for objects. There's the code. And then he said, oops, I messed up the Z ordering. Doesn't really change anything though. 𝗲𝗏. Then 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝘀 said, fun fact, if you save in Meltdown or World on Android and load in normal GD, the save file contains some of the definitions for explorers and Firebird. Okay, today is June 19th, 2022. This is 𝐒𝐸𝐴𝑥, host of the updates, bringing you your daily GD 2.2 update. We got some interesting news for today. So first of all, GD World updated on Android, iOS coming soon. Okay, so 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗏𝘀 found some noticeable changes. The lists have been replaced by paths, the save was moved, And the 20-star online unlock requirement is back to beating monster dance-off. And the change of the paths is nothing new. Rob mentioned it last year. Picture by Wiley. Then 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗀𝗀 said, the addition of paths kinda scares me, because there doesn't seem to be any code for them whatsoever. This implies one of two things. Rob actually properly removed them, or they do not exist at all yet. If it's the latter, what does this mean for the release date of the update? And then he added to it, he mentioned them, but didn't really go into detail. It is possible that they are already implemented as a part of an existing mechanic I didn't look into, but I wasn't able to find any code specifically related to them, which is really what I meant. Also, here you can see that the treasure rooms will have tier ratings. And then we got this. What do you want? Can you stop? Stop with the poking. You're getting on my nerves. I'm warning you. Some things are better left alone. Oh no, not again. Just stop tapping and it will be fine. It's best if you stop doing that. I feel strange. You dare touch a god? You will regret your actions here today. I have big things planned for you. Now, be gone. What? And Wally said to this, firstly, if you haven't learned already, there is some new lore with the shopkeeper. He seems to have an alternate version of himself called 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗀𝗀𝗀. Also, new icon? His head? Also, in regards to the save, it still exists, but it can be found on the page for daily, weekly, and event levels. Clicking prompts you to wait for the full version of 2.2. I also decided to look into shaders. Looking at the layer, these are all the shaders that 2.2 seems to have. They are stored in an Uber shader, and unlike the initial light shaders, we actually have Uber shader contents. Another little feature I noticed is some addition to the pause menu. Looking at it in-game doesn't show these new buttons. However, there are two buttons, one of the prompting you with a tutorial and the other updating info. Another thing I noticed is a GJ fly ground layer. It seems to be a new type of ground judging from the name, but it seems to be unused for now. Finally, here's a small change with low detail mode I noticed. And that's it for today. If I missed any news, I'm sorry, I will include it into tomorrow's news. And maybe tomorrow we will get even more data miner infos? Who knows? Rob added Hexagon Force to GD Lite. Thanks, Matt. Now, 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗀𝗀𝗀 has been updated with new rewards, small stuff, bug fixes, and tweaks. Then 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗀𝗀𝗀 showed us what godlike levels look like in-game. Also, new daily, weekly event levels error code. Then he said, what I find odd about the new Meltdown is that it has the 20-star requirement for online levels we have seen in Light, even though World doesn't have that and still only affects stuff available in World. Oh yeah, and both unlocks for Meltdown and Geometry-World are down in the description. Jumping to Wiley. He's saying, so chests have a new background if the chest is one of the new expensive 100 key chests. First image is original background, and the other two broken backgrounds are for new chests. He also found this. Seems like there could be actually 144 colors rather than 106. However, a lot of them are set to -1, making them not appear. And at last, a sick video where we see the chromatic shader trigger, thanks to Tringle. This will look so trippy. What? Rob was active in the Discord again. He is working on 2.2 full-time, no worries. Then a user asked if the physics will be separated from real FPS, but will it be the ability to change physics FPS, or will it be consistent, unchangeable 240 FPS? Rob replied with, physics will always run at 240. That's how it always been on 60 Hz anyway. Just now physics will be consistent. Someone asked on that, so no gameplay that's buggy on different hertz? That is the plan, Rob replied. Then a user again asked about the robot jump glitch and what about the impossible coins that will be in the game after the bug got fixed. Rob said that those levels will probably need to be updated. It's a bad bug, so had to remove. Then another user asked about the gameplay offset trigger we just saw yesterday, and Rob said to it, by default, the player is offset an amount from the center. When you switch direction in Sub-Zero, you can see how the camera realigns to offset the same amount in the other direction. Same with platformer. Gameplay offset trigger allows you to change that value. Then someone else said, make an inbuilt replay system so we don't have to record completions. Rob said to this, there is in 2.2, but not record. And Nico asked on that, how does the record system work? Rob replied with, it's based on the new physics system and records player input. That can be then used to replay the level in-game, so pretty much a replay button that can show the exact attempt you played. Andy asked, did you intend us to access the new 2022 editor? Rob replied with, I didn't put any effort to stop it and I love seeing 2.2 levels from the GDPS. But it's not really ready to be used as it is. Another user asked if Rob has any plans to redesign the level editor and making it more user-friendly. At some point, probably. And here are 3 things that have nothing to do with 2.2 but further updates. 2.3 will most likely have a whole sound library and sound effect system. Someone asked, what would you think about adding a system to change editor layer names? Sure, but not in 2.2, he said. And how about having levels as files so we can share them with other people? Yeah, but not in 2.2. Oh, and this just came in. Waterflame and DJ Nate are working on a new music together. First is that new option in the camera mode trigger. And arrow trigger now has an instant offset option. Minimum Career said, a while ago somebody asked you on the Discord if 2.2 was coming out in 2022 and you said yes. Do you still believe that is going to happen? And Rob replied with, hope so, doing my best. Just big update grew too big. But we will get there. Then Rob said, fun thing with GD is it's so open. 2.2 gets platformer, 2.3 I add custom art and sound effects system, 2.4 custom controls and more tools. And in 2.5, boom, all of a sudden we have 2D Dark Souls and the community goes, how the frick did this happen? Then the user asked about map packs and if there will be new map packs in the future, and Rob replied with, map packs are zombies. Nothing new, but they won't be removed. Then Butterscotch asked, are sub-difficulties of extreme demons something that may eventually happen? The gap between top 10 extremes and beginner extremes is probably more substantial than the gap between easy demons and extreme demons. And Rob replied with, it could definitely happen if the community wants it. Probably something for 2.3 though. Then Hemlock asked 2 questions. First is 2.2 going to fix issues with newer phones and wide monitors and the like? And second question was, have you thought of adding some tutorial for the editor? I don't want to say it's getting complicated, but Rob replied with, should fix a lot of issue on mobile. I know full screen is weird on PC, we'll check that. And second answer is, yeah, but I think the best thing is probably a redesign in the future since the editor has grown so much. Then Serious Entertainment asked, what's the situation like now with adding another source of music to GD besides Newgrounds? Rob replied with, I am able to add custom music hosted on a GD server. So probably we'll add custom artist songs and a browser for those in the future as an addition. I think Newgrounds is really awesome though. The thing I feel is needed is the ability to find unique, unused tracks from the Newgrounds easier. There are a ton of unseen songs available for the GD that creators just aren't finding. So maybe a custom browser with song suggestions that loads Newgrounds data. Then Dansman asked, will we ever get a rework to the level sorting system? For example, when I'm curious and I wanted to play the most downvoted rated levels of all time, I can only scroll to page 999 before I have to keep going manually for a long time until I get to the end, at which point I'm too bored to bother playing the levels, LMAO. Rob replied with, yeah, I'm gonna take community suggestions and try to work on QOL stuff and optimizations after 2.2. We can plan things in detail then. Oh, and sound effect will be selectable from an online library I host. Players won't be able to use just any sound they want. Then Phantom asked, so with the physics being the same for every hertz in 2.2, does this only apply to new levels or will it make old levels in the new system? Rob replied with, everything is on the new system, but hopefully it shouldn't be much of a problem in backwards compatibility. It matches the physics on 60 Hz currently and you still get the input lag benefit of higher refresh rates. Things should just be more stable. No more randomly being yeeted by moving platforms. Then 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗲𝗃 asked, are you thinking of adding non-support for mobile, if it's legally possible, in the way that the player can change the game files or something on mobile, which would allow tons of new levels to be rated and created without having to think about it? And Rob replied with, I don't like the idea much of forcing users to download songs and edit files manually, although I understand the interest. Also, run into issues with players sharing download links or sending people to malicious sites. Legal stuff can be a pain. But maybe we will have some custom load song system in the future. We will see. Then this person asked, will there be any kind of rewards for extreme demon grinders in 2.2? And Rob replied with, I may or may not have some 2.2 tricks for such things. Then Deadlocked Prod asked, will there be a dual platformer for 2.2? The potential for 6 buttons to work with in minigame making sounds really exciting. Rob replied with, it is functional on PC and will probably have dual buttons on mobile, but I don't think it will be very good. There are other ways I could add buttons that are far better. Then Lamby7 asked, will there be a lock to camera XY in the editor? And Rob replied with, camera triggers work in the editor. Should look like normal gameplay. There is a camera guide object you can use to view different screen sizes to get an idea for a layout. Then 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗲𝗃 asked, will 2.2 work better on Mac computers that ended support for 32-bit games and are now in 64-bit instead? Rob replied with, yup, runs much smoother in 2.2. Then lolcat asked, which of the official levels you made is your favorite? Or which of them did you feel most enjoyable while creating? Mine is Hexagon Force. Rob replied with, I always enjoy the latest level I make the most, because I feel the new features evolve the game. But I remember making Clubstep felt like a big thing. Then Lime asked, if difficulty time weren't any issue, what's the biggest thing you would want to add or change? And Rob replied with, real-time multiplayer platformer, live multiplayer level editing. Then Rob replied to this comment, yo, love your stuff. In the future I want to build a custom animation tool for player-created characters, but haven't started work on that one yet. It will be awesome in combination with future custom art. Then this user asked, will you add more difficulties as of further updates? And Rob replied with, maybe. Then this guy asked, do you think importing custom art, block art from outside sources will be a thing? Rob replied with, yes, in 2.3. And then Mr. Limo asked, will the song trigger be able to switch between different songs? Like if you had a long platformer level with multiple regions that needed different background music? Rob replied with, maybe in the future, but not in 2.2. And here is Roasting Rob. If I missed any significant question or answer, just let me know in the comments. There are so many questions and answers Rob replied with, so if you found anything you didn't see today, tell me in the comments and I will include it in tomorrow's news. Thank you so much for your understanding and hope you're having a nice day.
For the first time in about a month and a half, RobTop stopped by the Geometry Dash Discord to share some more details about the update. It's been a week since Rob's video of the new keyframe system was uploaded, and when asked when the actual sneak peek would be released, he responded by saying that creators keep raising the bar, so he has to spend more time on his levels. So if you want the update to come out faster, then we should all just switch back to making 1.0 levels. When asked what people might do with the new keyframe system, RobTop responded by saying that it'll allow for more dynamic movement in levels, which will be super helpful for things like boss fights. Rob also said that there's a bunch of new fonts coming in 2.2, more specifically about 30 to 40 of them, and so far we've only seen 3. One of these fonts was shown in the keyframe system video, and it's called 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗀. Another one is shown in an older video from Discord showcasing area triggers, and it's called 𝗏𝗏𝗃. And the last one is from another area trigger video, and this one was a little harder to find, but we eventually found that the font is called 𝗬𝗏𝗄, and it's a direct reference to the font used in Super Mario Maker. RobTop also said that we're still only going to get to use one font per level, since he doesn't want to load too many textures into memory. This is a similar reason to why backgrounds can't be changed on the fly. Someone asked Rob if sound effects will be coming to platformer mode, and he said it's a potential 2.3 feature because it would take a while to implement correctly. When asked if there will be another update as big as 2.2, RobTop said he doesn't think so, which is good, but it's not a promise. Interestingly enough, Rob said that Sneak Peek 1 and Sneak Peek 2 are both different styles of levels. He really likes level 1, which most likely refers to the sneak peek we've seen, codenamed Dash. Lastly, someone asked if Geometry Dash will ever have a Linux build, and RobTop said he'll do it if he has time, so most likely after 2.2. Also, while it's not really news about 2.2, the newly verified Demon Acheron by Raiden Moore was rated and featured earlier this morning. It's still yet to be placed on the demon list, but many people are speculating it'll be top 1. Wonder how long that'll last. Alright, believe it or not, it's a few hours later, and Rob just said a couple more quick things on Discord. Firstly, RobTop says that you don't need to free the Demon Guardian in order to unlock the map or the tower, but you will need it for other areas. Next up, all of the rewards for watching ads in the free versions of GD will be buyable with mana orbs in the main game. And lastly, Rob says that after 2.2, he has plans to make a spin-off game consisting entirely of platformer levels.
Alias here. Here at Daily Geometry Dash 2.2 News, we've made contact with a new sub-specimen of the 2.2 update. Keeping in track with RobTop's channel, we've discovered the existence of a new sneak peek, and looking at it from an outside perspective, it seems very promising, considering the fact that the thumbnail uses 3 lines of text and a face in the darkness. We don't yet know what awaits us. We'll have to commit to a more thorough analysis of the video. One more thing. There's been a significant presence of Spanish and Russian-speaking users in the chat, bringing the status of our discovery to a global scale. We'll take our positions and wait for the video to unveil its mysteries. That process is up to our superior, Daily 2.2 News. He will provide you with further updates. Alias out.
Rob went on to GDS to state that the level is not yet completed, and it will be polished before final. He also said that the song has a pretty long build-up, and he didn't want to go too crazy before the drop. Rob also stated on GDS that he will fix that the playtest gameplay is sometimes different than the actual gameplay. Next, we see from the Geometry Dash Today Twitter account that 2.2 will grant the ability to use multiple backgrounds in one level. But anyway...
Whoa, hold up. Rob just added a few more things. The keyframe system was completely new, but it makes working on boss fights so much faster, so it's a time win at the end. Then another user asked, will you be able to move the teleportation orbs freely, or can they just only go up or down? And Rob replied with, you can move them however you want. Alright, that's it. Exit out. Woo!
To start off, Rob said he's looking to add a Discord Rich Presence feature after 2.2, or some kind of last online indicator on user profiles in-game. 𝗟𝗏𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗀 asks, in the first part of the sneak peek when the player hits a platform, the second color of blocks he lands on turns yellow. Did you do that manually, or is there an easier way of doing that? Rob responds with, I did it with a pulse trigger, but you could probably set it up with area triggers if you wanted to. Another GDS user by the name of, oh god, I'm gonna butcher this, 𝗏𝗏𝘃𝗀𝗃𝗀. They asked, RobTop, have you ever considered adding a genre to level tags in 2.2? For example, levels being tagged as modern theme, glow theme, etc. And Rob responds with yes, but not in 2.2. In a video, RobTop showed a few pixel block items, and he said, you can use the different pixel items to act like pickups, like keys and skulls and whatnot. A GDS user by the name of Taz asks, hi Robert, would you be interested in making a hell-themed official level? RobTop says, you can build almost anything with the art in 2.2. He also says if he does custom art packs in 2.3, he probably won't make new official art for the game. Rob also showed a video showcasing the different sizes of pixel block, but in the end he ended up removing the 2 smallest pixel block sizes and only kept 1 through 6. A GDS user by the name of 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗲𝗀 asks, at RobTop, is there any way to combine/merge some objects into one object to improve performance in a rotate trigger? Like hard bake them in a level could be useful for big clusters of objects, including pixel art. RobTop responds with, I like the way you think. I've been playing with that idea for a long time, but with how objects are handled in-game it's tricky. The custom art system is an attempt to improve performance since you can just create art and import as one object instead of using 20 objects to create a design. A GDS user by the name of 𝗟𝗶𝘃𝗀 asks, hey, at RobTop, will the pixel objects use the nearest neighbor scaling when upscaled? Because otherwise they'll look ugly. RobTop responds with, yep, will be crisp in any scale. RobTop also says he'd like to add something like a GD supporter badge that you could purchase for real money. It would include some cosmetics and a badge on your profile, but he says he doesn't have the time to set up all the payment stuff. Personally, I really like that idea, and I hope he does add that in 2.3 or 2.21 or whatever. Another GDS user by the name of 𝗟𝗏𝘀 asks, at RobTop, the background seems to change on Explorers. Was it kind of a new trigger? I can see full potential with it, especially for platformer. Also, you should add a trigger that once stepped in, the music will change because of the ambience. RobTop says, change background trigger, change to any background. Another user asks, is there the same thing for ground or is it all one trigger? RobTop says, different trigger but same concept.
Yesterday, Vibrant told us that we will get a second gauntlet, the Universe Gauntlet. That was not planned though. RobTop agreed to increase the winners from 5 to 10. But still a few good entries didn't make it in. But after that, RobTop and Vibrant said this, we have heard everyone's disappointment about some of the levels not getting into 2.2 gauntlets, so we will be doing another one to get 11th to 15th place in as well. The top 15 levels will be split in 3 and put into each gauntlet based on their difficulty. In my opinion, increasing to 10 is really cool since there's really a lot of awesome levels, but I don't really understand the community's disappointment because it was said from the beginning that this is a contest, so you have to enter and watch with the mindset of that your favorite level might not get into the World Gauntlet. Yet we still get 3 separate ones. It's not like these levels will get deleted or something. No, they're just not in a gauntlet. You can still play them in the browser. I might be wrong, but if that's the case, just let me know in the comments. But back to Vibrant. The World Gauntlet will include the 5 easiest levels, the Galaxy Gauntlet will contain the medium ones, and in the Universe Gauntlet we will see the hardest levels. And a few hours ago Vibrant said this, honestly, not too sure about how I feel about hosting all these community events anymore. I've kinda gotten used to dealing with backlash for these. I quickly learned that it's impossible to please everyone in this community, especially one that's frustrated for waiting so long for 2.2. Getting mentioned randomly on Discord and Twitter with death threats and the like have just become a common thing to me. Feels weird getting desensitized to it. I just wonder what the point of hosting is if everyone seems to be disappointed. More than what is said about or to me, I find it extremely disappointing when people single out certain judges and hate on them. They simply played the level and gave their opinion on visuals and gameplay. None of them asked for any of this attention. RobTop experiences similar backlash to me when he isn't releasing 2.2 and just showing teasers. So I can definitely see why he doesn't want to show more teasers sometimes. The community is simply pushing Rob and I away from doing all the cool stuff we want to do with reactions. I could never host GD awards, contests or anything ever again if that's what people really want. I've done these events over 20 times in total now, and I've changed it as much as possible to suit community's feedback every time. However, it's never enough, and I only get more hate. Okay guys, we all want 2.2, but pushing Rob or talking bad on 𝗏𝗏 will not make the development faster in any way. I know, you really want that 2.2 update, everyone wants it. But guys, we have been waiting for over 5 years now, and it's not like we will never see the update. It is safe to say that 2.2 will come out in the near future, hopefully, and if that means we have to wait another year, then it shall be. No one of us can influence the progress on the 2.2 update. You can only cheer on 𝗏𝗏 that he puts that much time and love into his game to bring us the best of the best. We are patient. We are Geometry Dash players. To make the wait for 2.2 not that boring, you can stick around on this channel. Let's count every day before the 2.2 release. I hope you understand. And if you have any disagreement, just let me know in the comments and be respectful to each other. 𝗏𝗏 added this to it. Due to the amount of amazing entries, the entry top 10 will be put into gauntlets. So we got the World Gauntlet and they added the Universe Gauntlet on top, which sounds sick. Anyway, here's the top 10 in fast. Australia got top 10 with Down Under by Densman. USA got top 9 with Fizzy Fossils by 𝗏𝗄𝗄s. Spain got top 8 with 𝗦𝗲𝗿 by 𝗏𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐸. China got top 7 with Xanadu by Mangosteen. Italy got top 6 with Caput Mundi by Royal P. Chile got top 5 with Frostburn Peak by Abstract Dark. South Korea got top 4 with Azadel by 𝗟𝐸𝐴. And now to the top 3. We got Germany on the top 3 with Königstein by Womb. Top 2 is the second USA entry and it's Planet X by 𝗟𝗏. And on the top 1 we got Ruta del Sol by Trox P1, Peru. Oh, and Cobb said on Twitter, we need a combat system. And Rob replied with, roadmap says 2.4. Whoa.
The servers went down recently for a few hours, and 𝗏𝗏 showed up in the Geometry Dash Discord to answer some questions, as he often does. When asked whether he was moving to the new server he bought a little while back, he said that he did intend to, but there's some stuff he needs to fix with the new server before he's able, so he says he'll try again in a week or so. The recent server downtime was simply due to the provider changing around some hardware, and it is not indicative of anything related to 2.2. In addition, there is a small 2.2 feature that Rob promised in the past that someone reminded him about today, and he says that he wrote it down so he'll remember to add it if it's not already there. I don't quite understand the feature, but here's a description. It's basically the collision equivalent of the instant count trigger. It checks the state when activated rather than always checking. Again, not totally sure what this means, but Rob said he'll make sure it's in the update. He also reiterates that in 2.2, you'll be able to upload unverified levels as unlisted. This might make it easier for some people to make collabs, so I think it's definitely a good change. Next up, apparently there's going to be an extra control option for platformer mode on mobile devices. We're not totally sure what this means specifically, but it could probably be useful. Also, apparently you can apply shaders, things like the inverted color shader, to individual layers and levels, but you can only have one shader active at a time, which does make sense. Finally, 𝗏𝗏 says that in the future, he'd like to figure out how to make online multiplayer work for platformer mode, but it would be a very big project, so it would take a lot of time. I think this would be really amazing to see, so hopefully at some point he can pull it off.
First, 𝗏𝗏 said that at some point he will 100% gonna add RPG tools to Geometry Dash Platformer. Look at this beautiful art he added. Then a user asked about the text-based scripting, or at least some sort of variable storage in levels. Rob said he's not sure about the text scripting, but he wanted to add variables. Yeah. Then someone asked if it will be possible to type several lines of text using only one text block. Rob said, I will add something in the future. Then 𝗏𝗏 showed off 5 sound effects that we might see in 2.3, and one of the packs he bought has fart sounds. He's not so sure if he will include those, but if you want to listen to them, it's these two. 𝗏𝗏 got lots of different stuff, but he won't include all since some of them are really long, but he will add stuff like this maybe.
Dominating.
When asked on how many sound effects he has, he replied with over 1000 and that they are all unique. Can't wait to see a bunch of unique fart sounds. Jokes aside. When asked if the sound effects will have filters to find them more easily, 𝗏𝗏 replied with, I don't know. Haven't built it yet, but probably yeah. And finally, he once again said that the sound effects will not come out for 2.2, more likely on 2.3.
Neon White on Discord asked, RobTop, will sound effects have its own trigger, or is this going to be closer to choosing a level song? And RobTop said that sound effects will have its own trigger, and it will have tons of options. I guess someone asked RobTop if multiple songs playing at the same time will happen, and he said it definitely will not be, which I am thankful for. Thank you. Please do not have multiple songs playing at the same time. That would be terrible. Oh no, imagine all the mashups. Oh jeez. 𝗏𝗏𝘃𝗃, I hope that's his name. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Asked if there would be pixel spikes to match all the pixel blocks, and RobTop confirmed that there will be. And also that the pixel objects will be pretty optimized as well because they're just pictures. Also with the pixel blocks, RobTop made art of me in my man cave in the morning, so that's pretty cool, I think. RobTop said that he really wants to test the level preview image thing, but he hasn't touched it yet because he's lazy. And then finally, Frey asked RobTop if there was going to be a clan or a group system, and he said not in 2.2. So unfortunately, we are not playing Dash of Clans in 2.2, but maybe in 2.3. We'll see about that.
𝗏𝗏𝘃𝗀 asked, will there ever be a chance where you will remaster the Geometry Dash textures, or will you just stick to the current ones? Rob replied with, exporting without differing in RGA8888 instead of differed RGBA4444, yeah, but changing the actual art, probably not. Mostly since people have built so much stuff, so that would just change people's levels. Or if you mean remake the old levels, also no, because that would be boring. So gradients on texture packs won't break? Nope, it won't. Then RobTop said that the servers are slow on the weekends and that he really needs to move the new one, which means as of today the servers still didn't move. Then a GDPS developer asked RobTop 3 questions, but we only care about question number 2. He asked, why is your pixelate is just texture scaling instead of shader effect? It would have been much better and easier if it was a shader effect. To the second point, RobTop said, it's not just texture scaling. Then RobTop started a conversation where he said, are we serious enough to discuss design choices for platformer? Okay, so platformer leaderboards. Current structure is, there's 2 leaderboards for every level. The first leaderboard is purely time-based. Shortest time, no score, collect taken into account. The second leaderboard is point-based. Creator adds collectibles and sets points value for the collectibles. End score equals total collected points plus the time. Now question is how we handle time. Is 1 second 1 point good enough? Or should creators be able to assign a value for 1 second? Like 1 second is 10 points. Okay, we'll probably set up so creator can set value for time, but default at 1 point. Then EXO asked, RobTop, do you plan on making only 1 second equal to ? Score? Or will we be able to assign different score points for different amount of times? Examples, 1 second 10 points, 1 minute 100 extra points. Rob replied with, this is the basic calculation structure, but you could at the end of a level set your own parameters. Time can either be time remaining, if you have a level with max duration, or total time taken. Then you can say stuff like, if seconds played over 100, award is 50 points. 64-bit version on Android is coming in 2.2. Then Dry Leech Seed asked if there will be a FPS limit like 60Hz max or 360Hz for platformer. Physics are capped at 240, so anything above that will give you nothing anyway. Also, RobTop said that Geometry Dash will not be removed from the app stores. We shall not worry, friends. Then a user asked, RobTop, how much can explain character movement difference in different FPS? Rob said that the character will move the same. Only difference is how often you can control the character. EXO asked if RobTop will allow for a multi-trigger on pads and portals like you can do on orbs. Rob said that there are multi-triggers on pads now. Also 2.2 is coming out on mobile and PC at the same time. At least that's what he is planning. There will be a loop song mechanic for the platformer mode. And then the Milkcat asks, RobTop, are you gonna make all triggers support linking plus group parent and P groups? And Rob replied with, eventually, but we'll see if done for 2.2. Then Mr. Buck Lister listed RobTop a few bugs. First is about fixing the spider clip bug on 2019 leak, where you face through walls at the right position of spider dashing. Second bug is move trigger in 2022 leak is FPS based. Like for example, since the physics is 240 Hz, 60 FPS requires a multiplier of 4, while 240 only needs a multiplier of 1 for it. And the third one is that sometimes players, while hopping, can be stuck being thick. And 𝗏𝗏𝗃 replied with, "We'll check. Don't think so, everything is the same on any FPS in 2.2. And if you mean platformer, yeah, those are old bugs." Then people were talking about the new sound triggers, which we will be getting on the 2.3 update. And Rob confirmed that we will be able to change the volume and pitch of thousands of sound effects. Also, a 2.3 game mode is already planned. Hey 𝗏𝗏𝗃, listen, we already have vertex mode in 2.2 gradient trigger. I was thinking that it would be cool if we can edit the vertices of the objects in GD. Blocks, slopes, etc. Just like the way we can edit the vertices of the mesh in Blender or edit paths in Illustrator. And Rob said that you can scale objects in X, Y separately in 2.2, so you can create different angles that way. And then Splinter asked, 𝗏𝗏𝗃, how hard would it be to implement an object in the editor that renderizes an icon or a part of it of our choice for a future version of the game? That would become really handy to create transitions and easily bring a lot of life to levels. And Rob replied with, should be easy to implement. Ashley Rose asked 𝗏𝗏𝗃 how things are going with the new server and how much more powerful the server is compared to the current one. 𝗏𝗏𝗃 said, it's like 2 to 4 times more powerful. I will try to move as soon as possible. I've just been busy with other areas. Also, if you're interested for more information about the new server specs, here you go. And since we have weekends, the servers are dying, and that's because of the traffic of the Russian mobile players. A few hours ago, Rob said that there are over 40k connections per minute just from Russia. For clarification, one connection is when you search a level, download a level, upload a score, etc. Anything that needs the server. Someone asked how many new achievements there will be, and Rob said many. Lunar Edge asked if 𝗏𝗏𝗃 is planning on adding more colors groups, and Rob confirmed that in 2.2 it will be 9,999 instead of the current 999. When asked if we would get custom sound effects, Rob replied that there are hundreds if not thousands of sound effects in 2.2, so that should be more than enough. Lewis asked, what if the server transfer would delete all the data while moving? And Rob said that there is no risk. In case the transfer fails or something else happens, he can just target the old server again. The only thing that we would lose in that case is new data uploaded to the new server. Then 𝗟𝗶𝘃 asked if the new editor will be too hard to learn. On that question, 𝗏𝗏𝗃 replied with, maybe yes. The more complicated systems will probably need some guidance. This is more likely just a joke of 𝗏𝗏𝗃, but he said, we should add a rating below rate only. Like, I looked at it and decided not to rate. We can call it L rating. Someone replied on this with, L rating is what I would give your mom. Rob had absolutely no mercy and said, that's funny because I would give your mother the dick. 𝗏𝗏𝗃 roasting children. Oh god. Oh, and nothing related to GD, but 𝗏𝗏𝗃 is currently playing some Doom Eternal when he got some free time. And that's it. That's all the yes news we've gotten. Damn. It's quite a lot if you see it all at once. But I don't want to talk too much. Thank you so much for sticking around for such a long time, and I wish you a nice start in 2023.